Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, now we are down to the last literature of Upper Asian literature, and that is the literature of Indonesia. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, first we have the introduction to Indonesia. So Indonesia is a Southeast Asian archipelago located between the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. So as you can see in the map, Philippines is just above Indonesia, and it is located here. Located between the Indian Ocean, here the Indian Ocean, and the Pacific Ocean. Yeah. So Indonesia comprises of 5 main islands: the Sumatra, Kalimantan, Sulawesi, Java, and Papua. It has estimated 17,508 islands. So mas marami siya kaysa sa Philippines, but only 6,000 islands are inhabited. So malaki pa talaga yung parts ng Indonesia na hindi natitirhan ng mga tao. So the capital of Indonesia is Jakarta. Indonesia is the 4th largest country in the world by population, with over 240 million people. And the majority of the religion is Islam. So Indonesians are a mix of Chinese, European, Indian, and Malay. Diversity is a central feature of Indonesian culture. So Indonesia really has a diverse culture, as a diverse country. So let's proceed to the periods of Indonesian literature. So the periods of Indonesian literature has 10 periods, but I will discuss the first 5, and my partner will discuss the other 5. So the first period is Pujangga Lama, or also known as the literates of the olden times. Next, the second period is the Sastra Malay Lama, or the older Malay literature. Third is the Angkatan Balai Pustaka, or the generation of the Colonial Office for Popular Literature. It's from 1908. Then Angkatan Pujangga Baru, the new literates, 1933, and Angkatan 1945, or the generation of 1945. It is during the World War II. World War II. So first, we have the Pujangga Lama, the literates of the olden times. So it was written before the 20th century, a lively oral tradition using traditional Malay literature. So this Pujangga Lama is nakabase siya sa works of olden times, wherein yung mga original na form of poetry is yung mga sinusunod nila. So in Pujangga Lama, they're using 5 different genres, using shair, pantun, kurinda or guringa, hikayat, and babad. So, what's wrong with kuringa? So first is the shair, or the traditional narrative poetry. It is a form of poetry that is often used to tell stories or convey moral lessons. So usually, the themes of shair genre of literature, it has more on conveying moral lessons. No? So, mga stories na, or mga poetry na nagko-convey siya ng mga moral lessons and telling stories. Consists of 4-line stanza or quatrains with rhyme scheme AAAA. So, the rhyme of every stanza do not differ from the first line to the last line. So, it follows the rhyme scheme of AAAA. So, example of genres of shair genre is the shair Bidasari, shair Rajasyak, shair Kintambuhan. So, I have an example here, yung shair Bidasari. So, as you can see, this shair Bidasari is about Bidasari, the story of Bidasari, I know that, right? So, it is written by Jamila H.J. Ahmad. So, as you can see on the last part of, or last words of every line, they have the same rhyme scheme. Liwayat, Kembayat, Hikayat, Ibarat. And then the next stanza, Nigeri, Bestari, Bahari, Senteri. Next, Dimasya, Perkasa, Susa, Rusa, Bastari, Belisteri, Hari, Permaisuri. So, the language of Indonesia is very complicated. Wala akong naintindihan. Bastari lang ako. So, the next genre of literature under the Pujangga Lama is the Pantun. So Pantun is quatrains made up of two seemingly disconnected couplets. So in this genre, the rhyme scheme is disconnected. So meaning yung first line and the third line are the same rhyme scheme, and the second line and the fourth line is the same. So AB yung sinusunod nila na rhyme scheme sa Pantun. Next is Kurindam or brief aphorism. In this Kurindam or Gurindam, every stanza has 2 lines, and every line ranges from 10 to 14 words. So, ang interesting dito is yung every stanza which has 2 lines, nakikita yung the stanza tackles about a certain problem, wherein the problem can be seen on the first line and the answer is on the second line. So, parang yung sa first line is problem or issue of certain topic, then sinasagot siya sa second line. So, andun yung answer sa second line of every stanza. So, every stanza follows a rhyme scheme of AA, the next stanza BB, next stanza CC, and so on. Kung gaano kahaba yung magawa mo na sumusunod ka sa genre ng Kurindam. And next is the Hikayat. Hikayat or meaning hikayat from the Arabic term hikaya, meaning romance. So, ang theme ng hikayat is all about romance, na under siya sa mga stories na fairy tales, and also included in yung mga animal fables and other chronicles na with touch of romance. So, yun yung hikayat. And the last genre of Pujangga Lama is the Babad, and it talks about the histories or chronicles. So yung mga history ng Indonesia, doon siya napapasok sa genre ng Babad. So let's move on to the next period of Indonesian literature, which is the Sastra Melayu Lama or the older Malay literature. So the works from this period were predominantly popular among the people in Sumatra, the Chinese, and the Indo-Europeans. So yung period of Sastra Melayu Lama is popular siya not only sa yung mga works na during that period is hindi lang siya within Indonesia, but na-influence siya na din yung mga Chinese literature and other Indo-European countries. So it ranges from 1870 to 1942. So medyo matagal yung time na sa Sastra Melayu Lama or the older Malay literature. So the first works were dominated by Shair, Hikayat, and translations of Western novels. So present pa rin yung mga genre na Pujangga Lama during this time kasi parang kaka-transition na nila. So nandun pa rin yung paggamit ng Shair genre, Hikayat, and yung other works na yun is nagsisimula na ma-translate into novel of Western countries. So parang yung produced novel ng within this period is na to-translate na siya sa iba't ibang Western countries. So, ganun yung influence niya during the time. And the examples are Robinson Crusoe, translated na siya, no? So, originated siya from Indonesia, so nag-translate siya into English, which is Robinson Crusoe, and also the Around the World in 80 Days. So, ang original na title ng novel is Mingilili Bumidalang Itihari. So, yung translated niya is Around the World in 80 Days. Next period is Angkatan Balay Pustaka, or the generation of the Colonial Office for Popular Literature in 1908. National consciousness emerged among educated Indonesians. So, in this period, nagsimula na yung influence ng education, no? Parang develop ng education during this time. And under this period is under yung Indonesia sa Balay Pustaka. Yung Balay Pustaka it is a Dutch government supervised publisher. So Indonesia is parang nasakop siya ng Dutch. So under this period is under sila sa Balay Pustaka. So yung mga works during this period is themed as forced marriages, adat or traditional law, modernization, and adventure. Kasi nga yung sa Islam, di ba yung kwan, so rampant yung mga forced marriages, and yun yung mga yung works din na is nagatakel doon. And one of the famous writer or author during this period is Azab Dancing Sara. Merari Serigar. Merari Serigar is one of the famous writer during this time. And yung pinaka-famous niya nagawa is yung Azab Dancing Sara, or Torment and Misery. It is the first Indonesian novel written during this period. And another one is yung story of Siti Nurbaya, most popular of all Balay Pustakas novel written by Mara Rosli. So yun nga, dahil forced marriages, yung story ni Siti Nurbaya is parang kinasal siya sa taong hindi niya gusto. So yun yung ikot yung story ni Siti Nurbaya. And in 1928, Bahasa Indonesia, or yung official language, is na-proclaim na as the national language. Meaning, sa usage ng language na ito na yung one people, one nation, one language, which is the Bahasa Indonesia. Next period is Angkatan Pujangga Baru, or the New Literates in 1933. National consciousness among young Indonesian intellectuals was well developed. So sa third period is doon na nag-start, then na-develop pa siya on the fourth period of Indonesian literature. And one of the first national literary magazine na na-create during this period was Angkatan Pujangga Baru. So doon nila i-base yung period na yun, doon sa first magazine na na-create. And the greatest poets during this period were Sultan Takder Alis Jabana, Amir Hamzah, Armidjan Pane, and Sanusi Pane. The characteristics of works. The first literary periodical was written in their national language, and occasionally included prose in English, and more regularly and perhaps understandably, prose and poetry in Dutch. So nakaka-create na din sila ng mga works nila in English kasi nga doon yung pagdating ng mga Dutch. And Viv Boyk, an Indo-European author of Dutch nationality but with strong nationalist sympathies, is one of the editors. So yun nga, yung pag-create ng yung pag-produce nila ng mga works nila in English was influenced by Indo-European author na si Viv Boyk. So siya yung one of the editors of the works during this period. And yung mga essays and poetry nila, naging popular siya during that time. And one of the evident theme of poems that was emphasized was romanticism, including individual emotions, nature, and mysticism. So yung examples of works was Mingilo, or Complaint, Timachan Anak, or The Death of a Child, Timachan Anak, sawa or rice fields, bintang or stars, and dua or prayer. Yung mga works nila sa English. The last, the fifth period was angkatan na 1945 or the generation of 1945, dominated by the thoughts of independence and political manner. So, yung mga works nila is nagtatakil siya sa national independence, yung mga freedom ng country nila, and all. And inspiration and leaders were Chairil Anwar, the great poet considered in Indonesia. From Moja Anantathur was the most prominent writer during this period. And additional, yung mga well-known writers of Indonesia, first is Sastrawangi, Indonesia's sexy feminist literary movement. Yung mga works niya is all about fragrant literature, verse nutrient Indonesian literature, and other writers are Dewi Lestari, Ira Basuki, and Jenar Maisa Ayu. Another one is Eka Kurniawan, the first Indonesian writer nominated for the Man Booker International Prize for his novel Man Tiger, translated by Labudali Simbering. So si Eka Kurniawan, siya yung kilalang nakaproduce ng kilalang novels in Indonesia na Man Tiger. So yung Man Tiger is about din siya sa forced marriages, and yung story niya is nag-centralize sa yung inner emotion ng isang tao, na hindi lahat ng tao na nakita mo with parang innocent faces is ganun sila. Meron tayong, sa inside natin meron tayong tiger sa mga inner self natin, na anytime if maprovoke, lalabas niya. So Man Tiger, this main character possessed with the spirit of a white tiger, as elements that UK readers could most readily recognize from Latin America magical realism. So yung Man Tiger is not about yung moral ng isang tao, but also included or parang with touch of magical elements din siya. And I think that's all from my part.